Hi everyone. In the previous lecture, we discussed about the impact of networks in our day life and the challenges of networks and its communications, etc. And in today's lecture, we are going to discuss about the routing information protocol, the functions, the fundamentals and the importance of it. In getting introduced about the routing information protocol, we'll just look into the concepts of internet. Define an internet means what is an internet is all about. It is the combination of the networks that is connected via the routers. And how to route a packet or transmit a packet from a source to a destination network, and what are the available paths in the network to route a data packet, and how to choose the optimal path so that the packets are getting transmitted without any delay, and what is a metric and how to choose a metric, and that too a metric with the smallest one is chosen to route a data packet to its destination networks. And now we'll look into routing in the internets. So routing is forwarding of data packets from one network to the other network, and also choosing the available path from the routing table. And we'll see about what is an autonomous system. An autonomous system is a group of networks and the routers that comes under the authority of a single authentication. And now there are three types of autonomous systems. One is a stub AS, wherein there is only one connection that is established to other autonomous systems, and the second one is the multi-formed AS, and here there are multiple number of connections established to the other autonomous systems, and the third category is a transit AS, wherein this acts as a providers to the other or many autonomous systems. Now we'll look into the two levels of routing. The first one is intra-autonomous system and the second category is inter-autonomous system. And what is intra-autonomous system? Here the routing is done within the autonomous system, and the protocols involved in this type of routing is called as interior gateway routing protocol. And the most common AS, intra AS, is that about you have RIP, that is routing information protocol, you have OSPF, that is open shortest path first routing protocol, and you have the ISIS and IRGP and EIRGP routing protocols. And the next category is about the inter-AS routing protocol. So here the routing is done between the autonomous systems, and the most common routing protocol that is used for this type of routing is the BGP, that is Border Gateway Routing Protocols. Now we'll look into the types of routing protocols. There are two types of routing protocol. One is the interior routing protocol and another one is the exterior routing protocol. In interior routing protocol, the routing is done within the autonomous system. Each autonomous system chooses its own interior routing protocol, and the best example for this is RIP and the OSPF. Now we'll look into the exterior routing protocol. Here the routing is done between the autonomous system, and each autonomous system chooses its own exterior routing protocol, and the best example for this is the Border Gateway Routing Protocol, which is otherwise called as BGP. Now we'll look into the basic concepts of routing information protocol. This is a standard distance vector interior gateway routing protocol chosen by the routers to exchange information. The hop count chosen here is the 15 hops that is chosen to route the packets, and also the exchange of information between the routers is done for every 30 seconds. And the maximum number of administrative distance is only 120, and this is used for the smaller networks. Now we'll look into this RIP update message. The RIP update message is updated the routing table for every 30 seconds upon receiving a receipt message. Once when a response or a receipt message is getting received, the routing table is getting updated automatically. When a new router is added to a network, the routing table configures to itself by using the configuration file. all the entries that are made in the routing table are updated automatically by using the information. The routing table contains information about the networks that are directly connected to it and also with the hop count as 1. Now we'll look into RIP request messages. There are two types of messages used by RIP. One is the request messages and another one is the response messages. The request messages are sent by the route request requesting for the informations and with the set of timeout entries. The entries made here are basically used for the routing information. Now we'll look into the RIP response messages. The RIP response messages comes in two formats. One is a solicit message and another one is an unsolicited response messages. The solicit response messages gives answer to the specific request that is made by the router, and this carries information only about the destination to its corresponding request messages. Now looking into the unsolicited response messages, this gives the periodic updates to all the routers for every 30 seconds, and this contains information about the entire routing table and the update pack. Now we'll look into the RIP timers. RIP timers are the time between the consecutive updates of the routing information. The routing informations are updated periodically for every 30 seconds. Now there are three types of timers involved in the RIP. The first one is the invalid timer. The second one we call it as a hold down timer. The third one is the flush timer. The invalid timer, where the timer is set to 180 seconds, a time a router is set to receive or hear an update. A router is set to unreachable if it does not receive an update within the specified set of interval of 180 seconds. The second category we call here to be as the flush timer. Here this is the time before the invalid router is pushed into the routing table, where this is set to 240 seconds. The third type of timer we call here as the hold down timer, and this stabilizes the routing information, and this also prevents the router from getting into invalid or into a looping formats, and this prevents the topological changes when they are made. This prevents the looping concepts also. Now we'll look into the versions of RIP. The first one is the version 1. This is a classful routing protocol, and this broadcasts the information for every 30 seconds and has the maximum hop count of 15 hops. And this type of routing protocol does not support the VLSM, which is the variable length subnet masking, and this RIP v1 does not support the authentication or authorization also, and this does not support the manual summarization. Now we'll look into the version 2 of RIP. This is a classless routing protocol. This uses the multicast addressing method to route the data packets, and this supports the multicast addressing as well as the VLSM, that is the variable length subnet masking, and that periodically updates the routing table, and this also supports the authentication, and where the user manual is also supported with the hashed password values. Now we'll look into the another version of the RIP. This is the next generation RIP. We call this as RIP NG. This is the extension of RIP v2, and this RIP NG supports IPv6, which is the next generation routing protocol. This RIP NG requires the encoding of the next hop neighbor to route the packets from source to the destination nodes. Now we'll look into the limitations of RIP. There are few limitations of RIP wherein the path cost is the major limitation. Here the cost metric is involved to route the packets from source to the destination nodes. And the second limitation is very slow convergence to the topological changes in the network. And the third limitation is that this RIP does not support the variable length subnet masking. We have come to the end of the session. Hope everyone understood the concepts of RIP and in the next forthcoming session we will discuss about Internet Protocol version 4, that is IPv4. Thank you.